You like that? I remembered the microphone before actually talking this time. So here's hoping that works. I have a new setup, physical setup, not digital setup. It's kind of fun. Actually, here, I'll take this camera and kind of show you around. Oh, it froze. I cannot do that. Hold on. I'm going to fix that camera. Let's refresh it. There we go. Oh, it blinks a little. Why? The other one was blinking earlier. Why is this one blinking? I don't know. Okay, so new setup. I'm going to turn it around. Wait. Where's this one? Oh, I know. It's this one. Okay, I'm going to turn around. See? So I have my screen set up right here with the camera right in front. That makes it look more like I'm looking at you and I'm like looking at the screen and stuff. And then I have this thing that's connected to my collar ties. So when you come back, or not when you come back, so when Baby Lock comes back and Sergio comes back, I can sew and things won't vibrate anymore. Aren't you proud of me? It also makes, so I'll eventually be able to get rid of this thing because it's not important. Look, I pull it and the main camera doesn't shake. It's amazing. So I have all these things like going on and hoping that you'll find these things helpful. I'll probably have to mess with this main camera placement from time to time. I'll figure it out. I don't know what it all is yet. But yeah, so welcome if you've not been here before. My name is Amber Nicole, and I have a company called Uncharted, and actually I took my apron off. And I'm going to put my apron on because I do plan to touch some dye today, and I don't feel like getting it on my clothes. How's that? Yeah. No stuff on my, although I'm wearing a big flowy skirt today. Yay! Happiness and joy and color. And I have my nice little sugar-free soda. Yeah, that camera's blinking. I don't know. I'm going to switch back to the three camera view, so that stops. How's that? Better? Better, right? So much better. What else? Yeah, so I think I'm gonna touch up that shirt that I've been working on for a bit. And then I'm going to do some designing right here live for you guys. Some kind of hand lettering type work, probably with a brush and ink on thick paper, like illustration board. And then, and I'm gonna hopefully scan that in and turn it into a t-shirt that will be our summer camp t-shirt. I'm working with some new vendors that I've just heard of. Instead of offering it on like Teespring or something, I think it's gonna be locally made, which is awesome. What else? So the screen hangs at an angle, which is something new I'm adjusting to. I'd kind of hoped it would hang straight. I'm gonna look into whether I can make that happen. What else? Shall I dye the shirt? Doing that repair. Remember that shirt I'm repairing that got bleached? That's what I'm working on first. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna start on. And like totally talk at me, throw questions at me if you have questions about what I'm working on, and I'll do what I can. I had an exciting weekend. I'll tell you about that too. So let's get that shirt going on. That camera blinked out again. Refresh. There we go. How's that? That looks right. Why is it blinking now? I'm gonna edit it. So it's this camera. I wonder if it's the port that it's in. That port may be like kaputs. What do I know? So that one's working. Let's see here. Let's see if I can figure this out. This one is working. Is it here? Oh, did I fix it? No. No, it did not. So I have 1, 2, and 3 cameras at me, and I've got 4 plugged in. So one of those should be able to switch. Let's figure out which one it is. Let's see here. You are that one. This one. You are this one. Oh, you are the one that's not on. Okay. We can make you go away. Deal. That can go away, and we are going to, because it's you that's blinking, we're going to take you and plug you in to this one, which is nice because they're next to each other. Here's hoping. What do you think? Is it going to work? I see no blinking. Oh, interesting. That port is not good. I'm going to turn it off because it has an off function. How fun is that? So it looks a little slow, but I think it's okay. If you have any, you know, suggestions to change that, by all means, throw that at me. This one's doing well. That one's doing reasonably. This one moves faster. I wonder why. Things to figure out later. Yeah, let's go get that shirt because we're going to work on it. I'm going to move my camera out of the way. I have been listening to an awesome book called Sitting Pretty. It's about a woman in a wheelchair. Well, it's not about a woman in a wheelchair. It's about a PhD level writer who is struggling in the world of teaching because of the way the world is built around her. And it's kind of awesome. And it's giving me a lot of vocabulary to some of the processes and experiences I've had as someone who is, well, disabled. I know that sounds weird. I don't look disabled, but I am. I'll talk more about that, I guess, because it's an interesting topic. But I am disabled, so there. Let's see here. So remember, this is that bleach stain that is kind of broken. See that? It clearly got some bleach splashed onto it. This one is supposed to stay white. I think there's some bleach here and some bleach here and some bleach here. So we redrew those lines, right, in the hopes, oh, that one's not redrawn, is it? No, I can feel it. We redrew those lines in the hopes that it will contain the dye in the places that I need to add it. And we found the matching piece to this. Let's see, let's look for that triangle again. Where did it go? There was one triangle next to blue, triangle next to blue. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this, but in the opposite. So can you see that? This right here is this right here, but in reverse. So we're going to try to match this and this and what should be going on here. Do you see that? Does that make sense? As I move it more into frame. So I'm going to put down some protective stuff and I'm going to pull my dies out. How's that sound? Super exciting? Yeah, of course it is. That's interesting. I just threw that, and why did it? Oh, because it's okay. So I'm gonna have to anchor that cord. New things to figure out. I built this setup myself. I built it from scratch. Pretty happy with the way it turned out. It is the second attempt at it. The first attempt had some challenges. Let me. First things first. Table protection. I said that already. Table protection. I'm going to grab a bag. Oh, I'm knocking things over everywhere. It's alright. I'm going to put this bag down, and I'm actually going to clear away my green grid here because I don't think I need that right now. I think it just dies. And I should have taken it out before. I have some resin that got on it. I should have taken it away before I did that resin work, but I didn't. So there's that. Next week is summer camp, so I don't know what Twitch is gonna look like. If we'll kick the kids out and they'll go to the park or whatever, or if the kids' artwork is what you're gonna see next week. That could be really interesting. I don't know how you feel about that. If you have a comment or a preference on that, let me know. I do have permissions for the kids and stuff, so it's not or permissions to, put the kids on camera, so it's not like it'll be weird or anything. Well, I mean, it might be weird, but it's not like I'll get in trouble. I'm just trying to figure out what you guys would be interested in seeing. So if you have a preference, do let me know. But yeah, my weekend was crazy packed. started with a bachelorette party on Friday night that I organized for my dear, dear friend. The one that I made the fascinator for, and it turned out beautifully. She wore it all night. And we restaurant hopped and had drinks at different locations and all kinds of stuff. And hired Clara Devine, a drag queen out of New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire, to hang out with us, and she was an absolute blast. Brought a lot of fun to the party. Really accessible to hire a drag queen, so that's cool. I had no idea it would be, but Clara had this story hour planned at the Dairy Library, and it got canceled because of all the hate messages the library received. And I feel awful about that. Not that I am directly responsible in any way, shape, or form, but New Hampshire is my town, right? And that poor person, Michael, who Claire Devine is his performance art, literally received like death threats and stuff. And I don't want that to be what New Hampshire is. So I decided I would hire him to be Clara at this bachelorette party. All right, I'm grabbing 813 turquoise, 814, 812, and probably a yellow. I am running low on the yellows. That is low. Okay, because the yellow here needs to be replaced, we're going to go lightest to darkest, as is typical in art. I'm going to go get my water cup. Grabbing paintbrushes. So yeah, I hired Clara to be our, well, I hired Michael to be Clara for this presentation, for this event for us. And Clara just hung out with us, ate dinner with us, had drinks with us. It was something the bride would be totally all about. The bride is totally about finding herself and totally owning who you are. And what is a drag queen but someone who's really owning who they are and the things that they enjoy to do, despite the persecution often given them. So yeah, it was a delightful evening with drinks, and we might have ended up in a local waterway at 12:30 at night, which is very late for us middle-aged women. And it was just a delight, just an absolute wonderful, amazing, nice delight. All right, so this, it actually does go to white here-ish, which is okay. We don't want it to be pure white through here, but just fading that in a bit. So I'm going to mix this together so that we pick up all the pigments, and I'm going to kind of dry brush it on to give some of this kind of dry brush technique that is all over. Again, I'm totally making this up as I do this. I've never done this before, but I want to experiment on this shirt because I have a dress of great value to me that I would like to replicate this process on, that has similar bleach stains. So picking up a little dye, there we go. And I'm gonna just brush it on here. Can you see that? Am I in? Yeah, I'm on camera. Cool, 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 cool. I'm just gonna brush it in. Just to kind of add it back in so people don't notice that it's missing. Look at that. I think it's working. So we add just a bit. We blot it off. Oh, that smells like cat breath. The yellow does smell like cat breath. It's just... it seems to be the natural smell of Jacquard's Golden Yellow 802. So yeah, that's a thing, if you were wondering. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it really is, but it smells a little like cat breath. All right, a little wetter this time because I want to lay down just a little more color. In through here too, so that we balance it out in case the color sets a little differently. See this? Going both directions so that, there, look, I think we kind of fixed that area. Can you see that? Can you see how much more similar it is to over here, which is what we're replicating? I find that much more acceptable. Cool. Now I'm going to rinse it off. I'm going to clean it off. And that's the only place I think I need to repair the yellow. I'm going to double check that though before I really switch colors. I'm going to close it off. Close your colors, people. Helps keep them from drying out. Now is this one that should have more? I don't see any other bleaching around it, so I don't think it needs more yellow. Let's look for this pattern and make sure it still matches. Blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow triangles, blue, yellow triangles. Here, this looks like, no, that's not blue, yellow triangles. Do I not have another blue, yellow? Here we are, blue, yellow, faded orange. Okay. It does look like they sewed it backwards, kind of, upside down the fabric, like there's no regard for where things are supposed to be. So it kind of looks a little bleached here, but because none of these are bleached, I'm going to go with no. So we did that, and now we're going to do this blue. I'm going to go get my color samples and like really hone in on what this color should be. Because I suspect this blue, I think, so this is the blue we're going for over here. What do you think? That's probably the closest. I think I'm going to have to make my own color though, so that it's a light wash. Let's grab some mixing cups here so that I can kind of own what that should be. I'm going to put the water in first. And then I'm going to add little bit by little bit this turquoise, the 813 by Jacquard Dynaflow silk dyes. And see what happens. Oh, I don't remember doing that. All right. And it's better to do it lightly and build up than have a mess of too dark. I remember most people probably don't even notice that this thing is bleached. I notice because I see the pattern. Other people probably won't, and that's okay. It really is. All right, so you think let's test it on our rag here. That's pretty close. Let's throw it on the shirt. Let's find out. Okay, it's a little on the dark side. That could just be the water. You know, the fact that it's wet. No, it's fading into the red, which is what we didn't want because I'm letting it touch the back. So let's pull that blue out. A lot of water, gravy, a lot of water. Should have thought that part through. It's okay. We'll pull the color. Yeah, pull the color. Okay, so this is why they stretch these things. Let's do that real quick. Let's stretch it over something. Like a cup full of screws. Okay, it's gonna be fine. I'm not too worried. Okay, it's already a pattern that most people won't see the deviations from, right? Not too worried. That is definitely supposed to be white though. Okay, so I've learned something here. Stretch your colors. Stretch your colors. Cool. Let's at least finish fixing it down here. And saturate it. And it is going to show up darker. Yeah, okay. So this resist didn't work super well on this fabric. It's okay. Remember, it's a test. This is not my final product. Will I still wear the shirt? Probably. Like, yeah, look, I've already made it just a smidge better. Can you see that? How I've like totally kind of Fix that a bit. It already kind of matches a little more. People aren't going to notice. But the black is bleeding, which I've not had it do on the silks. That I don't know how to do anything about. It is? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Why would the black bleed like that? It's too wet. It's alright. It's really attacking this though. I'm trying to see if there's another color that it makes sense. I think I may end up dyeing this square dark blue. No one will notice. I don't think. So let's move this aside and put the lid back on. Our colors, always cap your colors. We gotta let that dry before we layer it back up. And then we're gonna replicate that color, which I think is really this 816, which I don't have. So we're gonna go get the 816, which is like the midnight blue. But we forgot we should also touch up this one, which is probably this 815. Which I also don't have. I'll go get 815. Oh, interesting. I would not have called that a cerulean blue, but 815 seems to be what that color is. Unless I see something else, and I don't. We're gonna touch it with the 815 and see what happens. Right in through here. Notice I went for the straight color. And we'll fade it in there. I'm going to clean it off. Nice, and I'm going to brush it in so it fades just a little bit. Again, I don't have the commercial colors, right? So like, I don't know how this was originally done. So any fix is really doing great, but I'm trying to learn for another project. It just so happens that this one also needs fixing. Not bad. Let's pull the 816, the midnight, for this fix. Still not sure how I'm going to fix that. Actually, I may wash it out. I may let it wash out before I heat set, and that might just make it go away, and then I can redo that black line. That could work. That really could work. All right, let's pull the 816 out, the midnight, and let's add it in through here. Not enough liquid. Pull it in, drop it through. All right. Adding this color in here. It's really turning out differently than it does on the silk, which is fine. Again, remember, we're doing this as a test. And just the knowledge I'm gaining from doing this will be worth this project, worth the $3 this shirt was. Do you follow? Really. Truly. The $3 this shirt was. There we go. Look, I'm fixing it. Do you feel proud of me? I feel proud of me. Coolness. See that? So now we're going to let that dry. Oh, there's a little blue here. I missed that. That should be fixed with the light blue that's right there that I've already made. So I'm going to clean the brush pretty good. Dip it in that cerulean. Boy, that's a dark color now. That's why you go lightest to darkest. Just saying. But I'm going to bring that in, touch that up right here. Just a little touch up. Right here. See, and even just like fading over that blue will make a big difference in like whether it shows or not. Yeah, so this is definitely bleeding over that resist. That's fun. Look, I fixed one problem and made another. It happens all the time. All the time. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Stop messing with it. Stop messing. Okay, cool, cool. Take this up and drape it over something so that it can dry. You may be recognizing this shirt from a previous episode where we dyed it and made, you know, exactly what I was looking for. Pretty cool, right? With a little bit of a spiny texture on the back. It didn't quite come out the way I wanted, but I'm quite happy with it. I'm going to wash it and call it done. Put your caps on your colors. Caps on your colors, caps on your colors. It prevents messes later on. And put your colors away. Do-do-do. Yellow goes up here. The blues go down here. I don't have a silk painting camp this summer, which kind of makes me sad, actually. I just didn't have the audience to pull from this year. With COVID not being, you know, with not letting schools meet, I wasn't in the private schools, and it's not the public school kids that usually sign up for summer camps. All right, we dyed a shirt. We learned something, like why we use like embroidery hoop-like things to stretch our stuff, or why I have a million stretchers, because it helps prevent the bleeding of the colors when they touch something else that you don't want them to touch. So there's that. What else? What else? I think that's all the physical, like, dyeing of the regular projects that I'm going to get to today. So now I'm going to pull out some illustration board, and we are going to make, I'll start in pencil, move to pen, and it's going to be fantastic. So, illustration board, marker board, something like that. That's really what you're looking for. Here we go, Bristol. I want some Bristol. I want some Bristol. That's some watercolor paper. I have a lot. It looks like I have a lot of watercolor paper. Ooh. Okay. 2 forms of Bristol board. And I want a round brush, like a really big round brush. I'm going to experiment with a few different kinds. So here's a nice round brush in a size that might work for us, in the 12. Now you guys, where's that flat brush I kind of surprised myself with really loving? I'll find it. So I'm usually a big fan of like a cat tongue brush, and that's going to be this shape right here. I don't know why. I just really, no, I do know why, because I can go small, I can go big, and it all still works with it. We should grab at least one flat, just in case that's appropriate for the lettering that we're about to do. And I just played with that flat brush, I swear. It was enormous. I guess we should grab one like less than ideal brush, something that's like in a little bit of bad shape, just in case that texture is something we're interested in. Here it is. And I'm gonna grab from my collection of brushes. So this weekend was Pride for Manchester. So being an ally and not necessarily LGBTQ myself, my function at something like Pride is to facilitate other people expressing themselves, and primarily. So I set up a canvas. Well, actually, Yasmin did. Yasmin made an enormous canvas that you could work on, and I then grabbed tools and all the things necessary to create art and hand the tools to other people. So I literally stood there. If you saw me, if you're in Manchester and you walk by, I was the lady with the brush going, "Do you want to express yourself?" and handing them brushes. It was great. Do you want to express yourself? 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 And I'd hand them a brush like this, and they would go and they'd paint on the canvas or the doors that I set up in like a column behind us, and it was kind of beautiful, and the work that resulted is definitely beautiful. So yeah, that was delightful. All right, and I think I'm going to use ink. So let's grab some ink. I might use paint, but I'm leaning towards ink at the moment. And I think I saw the ink on Kai's cart last. I looked, but it might not be here because Kai is constantly organizing and moving things and putting them where they belong. And perhaps the ink did not belong here. So it's possible the ink belongs here. Ah, okay, and ooh, some Sumi ink too, because that could be great. I think that's what I want. I think this is everything I need. So the shirt I'm going to design, I'm going to start out by hand here with you guys watching me. And it's going to be something, I want the shirt to express, I really need the shirt to express the fact that we're coming together again after, you know, a year of COVID, and we're making art again. So I don't have like a full-on idea. I have some ideas about where it's going to go, but something about creating and making and doing art and science together again. I'm going to start from a hand lettering perspective, scan it into my computer, and vectorize it. We'll see, and I hope to do the whole process live with you today. We'll see how fast that goes. I don't know. No promises, but that's my goal here. So here's some Bristol board, nice thick paper that should be able to take what I'm about to throw at it. And I'm going to work on the smaller size to start, and if something turns out really good, I can scan it in and blow it up. I like to work with taping my artwork down to a board so it doesn't billow and wrinkle. I think that's really, really very important to the process. So I grab artist tape, which I must have grabbed earlier and not returned because I don't see it here. That's something I do on the regular. So we'll use masking tape. Should be sufficient. I'm not planning on painting edge to edge or anything, you know, really, really exciting like that. I'm just going to be working this. So let's grab a couple pieces of the Bristol out of the paper, out of the book here. A real gentle pull is all we need. We'll start with 3 pieces. Does that sound right? And yeah, that's just where we're going to start. Put this aside, out of the way, and then tape it down. So I tape it down because when you saturate a piece of paper with ink or with watercolor, it tends to wrinkle. You may have noticed this, and it's one of the reasons like all the like artwork in schools and stuff, it shows on the wall and it's displayed and it's like all kinds of wrinkly, and it drives me nuts because it really, I may have destroyed this roll of tape. I used it when I was polying the piece that you guys are now hanging from. I destroyed it, so there's poly all over this. This will never work. Whoops. Do something different next time. Don't use tape to prop your stuff up. It's not the intended use of tape. Who's surprised? No one is surprised. Oh man, that thing is really leaking. Oh, and it's leaking into the yellow. Gravy. I may have ruined the shirt, y'all. It's alright. I'm usually wearing an apron anyways. Alright, here we are. Tape. And we hope that it peels right off. Did you see that? That was perfect. That's the way tape is supposed to go. We tape it, overlapping about 50% the tape onto the paper and onto the board that we're taping to. You can, in fact, use cardboard for this if you're not planning on really saturating the thing, and you don't want the texture coming behind of corrugated, or you can put like, you know, a flat chipboard kind of thing over top the cardboard. All of this is valid. I'm using masonite here because I have a bunch of these already set up and ready to go to be used as this. It's like I do this or something. I don't know. And a pencil. Let us grab a 5H. 5H feels appropriate at the moment. And so we're doing a t-shirt, and I want it, I'm thinking together again. Oh, I gotta take my watch off this hand. I keep getting little reactions from the watch being on this hand. See, it's not pretty, little redness. So together, so this is where you start thumbnailing. Thumbnail is the appropriate first step. And here I am just jumping in like I, tell my students never to do. Let's grab some lower cost paper. Let's see here. Here we go. Just some sketch paper with a little tooth to it. I'm gonna throw that down. It still gives a good color. It does bleed through, but I'm not worried about bleeding through because this is just some quick pencil work. Excuse me. Did you hear that burp? That was a burp. Okay. So I'm thinking it can either be a circle or I want it to kind of extend in and out like the Star Wars logo. I'm not sure. But I'm looking at this thinking together again, and I want some kind of a, at least one design, I'm thinking a rounded shape, making together again. I don't want to specify art. Yeah, it's something like this, maybe. It's looking a little Easterish. Looks a little bit like an egg right now. Maybe it needs to be a little more irregular so it doesn't look as much like an egg. There we go. Kind of square out those corners so we get the idea. And it's going to be, I'm trying not to do cursive so that the shirt is a little more gender neutral. Making together again. Art. No, it should be science and art because science is the bigger one. I'll just scribble. Making science and art together again. This is weak. This part, this is weak. Okay, new piece. So like this, there's something good here, but this is weak. It's too confusing. It's not going to be legible. Let's do it again. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm thinking you can't actually. Now that I'm looking at this, like I think I'm going to have to design in Sharpie, which is not something I generally recommend my students do. But to make it so that you guys can see it, let's upgrade to Sharpie. So I'm gonna, yeah, well, you can kind of see it, but not super awesome. Oh, you know what might be more relevant is switching the camera views. Let's bring this down, bring this one up, yeah, and drop it down here. Does that work? I like that more. Okay, let's stick with this for a bit. So you can kind of see what I did. I'm going to darken it so you can see where I so I'm thinking something kind of like this. And I did this here, but I'm not thrilled. Can you see that now? Science. Two different E's. I don't know why. Science and art. Yeah, I'm just... it's too much. It's too much going on. So let's boil this idea down a little bit and let's talk making together. Making together again, maybe. Making together. I think, so I like this shape in general, which is this. I feel like it's not quite egg-like, which is nice, but it's still rounded. So let's build on that. So can you see I put the design behind it, and I'm going to do this again, but we're going to bring that G out over here. So the K needs to move here, the I, the N, and the G moved a little, that's okay. And the A and the M. So we could do this, bring this down. Gives it a little bit of a 70s vibe, doesn't it? To extend the letters like that. But I kind of dig it. You can also extend the A down like this. And then we can extend the G. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Should the A have a story? I don't think so. But I think it should be wider. How about that? We can round out this M. Yeah. So, see where I'm going? Not bad. Pretty happy with that. And now let's focus on the together. So, again, I'm trying not to do too many curved forms because curved forms are often perceived as feminine. Together. Should it again be here? Maybe it should be here. Okay, let's continue to revise, right? Let's do it again. Revise and build. So when you're doing this, one of the annoying things is like when you're building with the paper you can see between. You can do this digitally in Photoshop by doing like opacity layers and stuff like that. Is one of the most annoying things is the way things move. So if you tape them together, it usually ends up a little better. So I've got something I kind of like here, so I'm going to tape them together. Right? I don't have a piece of tape ready for the next one. I do. So let's do this again. These got a little big. Let's bring the M over here just a smidge. And drink some water, hydrate. Ooh, that's nice. Clears up my throat a little bit. And the A. Really clarify the X height here that I'm creating. Bump my hand, but that's okay. What if this ends here and we go like this, bring that O a little smaller. H, E, R. And then can we fit the again? Does the again make more sense here? We can maybe the again is too much. I'm trying to say, you know, we're coming back together. Actually, this is not that bad. This is not that bad, but it maybe needs to be brought down and made a little larger. Okay, see it has this shape here that's kind of pleasant, that continues with the G, making together again. I think this is where I'm going with it. Yeah, this is looking right. Something to try is making this space wider and maybe fitting a brush in there. Let's just try it. It's probably too much, but we're gonna try it, okay? Grab another piece of paper. Now, I often do this on tracing paper, but I thought that might be confusing on screen. So I'm using regular paper. I mean, like just a thin sketch paper. So we add a layer. Tape it on. All right, I'm gonna pencil just a little bit in here so I can kind of get the idea of what it is I'm talking about doing. So maybe it should be a marker. Because the camps that I've booked are sigh art and comics, not a fine art class. So a brush is inappropriate. Let's, you know, one of those like really fat markers. That's what I'm talking about. Did that screen just blink? I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm talking like a, you know, like a Sharpie type. That, you know, it has this curved shoulder and then it has this like thickness here. And then it has like a chisel tip. You know what I'm talking about? Ooh, I kind of like that. It's a little simplified from what I would usually do. Should it pull out this far? Maybe. Can you see that? What I'm talking about? I think you can. And that gives me room for some graphics or something, maybe my logo, right? Just kind of like wrapped around. We gotta give it a little bit of 3D-ness, huh? Just a little bit, and then like the logo can go off center here. We can work out the exactness of perspective in a minute. Right now this is called thumbnailing. So precision is not important. And then, so I know I'm back to designing in pencil, but that's because I've come up with something that I want a really rounded shoulder on that M. I'm not the best at like looser letters. I'm a little stiff. I'm trying to loosen up a little bit. The slant was nice. I think I've lost the slant. Here we go. Okay, the counter on that G cannot touch that N. That can't be a thing. There we go. Now with this, I wonder if the G can pull behind and then wrap in front. You follow? And then come out over here. Super thick. Be kind of like that. So this is looking a little sharp. This is a sharp angle that I'm not really interested in. It does not continue. It's not mirroring the other angles. It's not creating a repeat of pattern. That's one of the most important things when you're doing stuff like this, is making sure various forms and stuff repeat their patterns. Okay. Still, it's too sharp. Let's pull this out. Pull that angle out. There we go. That's looking a little better. But it's going to go behind the pen. And then could say together again, like here, together again. Feels weak. Feels weak. So let's pull this T real big here. Right? Give it a nice big T. Stable T. Together. So I don't like this part, so it may be that this needs to wrap up there a little bit more tightly. And then we can go again. I feel like that A should be a curved A. Still feels like it's hanging off a bit, but let's thicken this up, okay, using the Sharpie. So we can see what it is I'm talking about for everyone on Twitch. So we'll go behind the marker, in front of the marker, behind the marker again, and then swing out over here. Right? And then this marker presents an opportunity for additional messaging, whatever that is. Is it rainbows? Is it whatever it is? Right? Because we want some color. There we go. Ooh, I like that combo right there. Let's see if we can continue it. The T being, does the T go in front or does the T go in behind the pen mark? It needs to round more. So while this is a nice moment, it's not right. Round it more. What do you guys think? Any comments? Okay. I think this needs to be, there we go, more like that. And then this should mirror it. How do you feel about that? I'm feeling pretty good about that. I saw it blink. It's not blinking all the time. You gotta tell me if it's blinking. So it's gonna go behind things. It's gonna pull here. What do you think? Making together again? Is this something you'd want to wear? I feel like it's something I'd want to wear. But should the again be smaller? Does this date it? We can make it just like a small, like, again, this is my note. I don't know. So I like the idea of incorporating the logo into the marker. Should the marker go the other way? That would give me more logo space. Well, I think one of the things I'm going to do is cut it more in the middle anyways, so that it's a little tighter to the marker. Like that. And let's do that in Sharpie so we can see it. See that? And it'll pull over here a little more. Ooh, so I have that art, that square art logo I have. That could be... Is the again important? I'm not sure it is. So the pencil can have like the bands of like my branding and colors going something like this, right? I don't know. It's all wrong, but you get the idea. I like this, actually. I feel like this is not important. Clear messaging. You got to get to very clear messaging. I might need a light box for this, because this is kind of pulling together, and like it's not going to pull through that Bristol board. Fortunately, I have one, a little one that I can put on camera for you because Kai handed it off to me. The all amazing, the all wonderful Kai. We're going to do one more layer, and that's going to really inform what this is going to be, I think. How's that sound? And I'm going to go get that light box afterwards. This is just one method of production that you can choose to use or not. There we go. Actually, I don't know that I need to do this. We're going to clarify. We're just going to clarify because things, right? Things. So nice big M, then A, K, I, N, and that big counter on the G that's going to run behind the marker really closely, right? So that you can figure out exactly where this should be. And I will probably end up drawing the marker separate from the hand lettering and just digitally putting it together. I could choose to do it another way, but this is ultimately going to be digital, so why make my life harder? So we can see, right? And then, so we want to bring that G further down. the E here. Should the T have a slant? I'm thinking it shouldn't, actually. I questioned it and then was like, no. Now, herein becomes the question, I think. Does this TH go in front of whatever this is? Or does it go behind? You follow what I'm saying? Because I don't mind creating that kind of depth, but I want to make sure it's visible. I would like this descending stroke to be rainbow, ultimately, in the digital form. I don't know that that's going to be possible. We're going to find out, though, for sure. We're going to find out. Gosh, I can still smell that yellow dye from earlier that kind of smells like cat breath. That's one of the variations I have for my logo, that's all. Just for instances like this. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Alright, let's get the light box. Maybe it's up there. Unless Kai put it somewhere. Because Kai puts things away for me. That makes my life easier. I don't need the AC running. Here's the light box. Oh. The light box of smallness. So that I can do things for you on screen or in the classroom. What? I know. However, are you going to be ever thrilled by me again? Just bring the light box on like this. Plug it in over here to the side because that is where a plug lives. I can unplug this camera because I'm not using this. It is not even on and it is in the way. All right, where's that plug coming out of? Where's that plug coming out of? There we go. I'm gonna have to go this way and give myself another foot. Okay. Plug it in. Plug it in. Isn't that like a Glade plug-in song or something? I think it is. Don't touch the other things plugged in because they are important. Like my monitor. There we are. You're all still there, right? Yes! Very good. Okay. Too much? Too much excitement? Plug it in. Where's the... Give it a second. Ah! That was kind of funny. I think that's one of my best, like, Twitch moments ever. Okay, so we know this is where we're going with this. I'm going to take it off and I'm going to put it down under here. I do believe this little band is for like locking artwork down. I just use tape. Yeah, otherwise I can't figure out what it's for. I think it's just for like locking things. I don't know. Whatever. Everything else is suddenly dark. As I slide this on top. Okay. Taping it down to the light box. You can tell I'm sometimes making this up as I go. There we go, got a little darker. I'm still lit from underneath, but you get the idea. Okay, now, before I get too into this, let's test our paintbrushes and see what mark making they do. because I want to make sure I have the right lettering kind of thing going on. I'm going to take this down. Because that's easier than letting it get wrinkly, and see what kind of mark making I can accomplish with my wonderful, beautiful brushes that I have here. Why did I make that so small? Okay. Lock it on in, tape it on down. To-do. How's that? It's too beautiful, isn't it? That's why I have one viewer. That's okay. I'm making, and I'd be doing this anyways. I'm just talking my way through it now. Literally, this is what I'd be doing. I'm going to use the Sumi ink first. It gives a really, really dark ink. So let's start with something on the smaller side. Yeah. And dip our brush in. Barely got any. There we go. And let's make an M. Or at least a stroke. So that's a stroke. Couldn't see it on the other one, could you? There we go. Hide that. Build that. Do the thing. Okay, so that is that one. I need a paper towel. I grabbed several earlier because I knew I would. Let's clean that, dry that off. Let's check out this brush while that one dries. Cool. Touch it to the bottom. Pick up a little ink. Let's make an M. This is going to be really chiselly because it's a flat brush. Yeah, I don't like that at all. That one's a no. That other one before is a maybe. It's not as rounded as I'd like, but we can make it work if we need to. How about the grungy brush? Like, because this texture might do something fun with this really, like, gnarly looking brush. Make an M. A little more chiselly than I want, but those are some nice little stray marks off to the side. It's also bigger than I'd planned. I probably have a smaller somewhere, so that's a maybe. Let's take, yeah, here's a smaller, kind of crappier. It's even crappier than the one I just used. Let's try this. Okay, I'm gonna dip it in. It's quite crappy. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear that? It's kind of annoying. Let's make an M with it. I mean, it has some kind of nice stray marks, especially as it fades. It's still too big. Gotta think through it. I mean, I can always blow up my design, so don't discount that possible process. Okay, I've decided this brush is way too big and we are not going to use it. I can tell by my experiment so far. Here is like a children's brush that I thought could be really great. It's by Crayola, you know, only the best. Let's try to get it in that Sumi ink container. All right, and it's gonna be too big. Yep, look at that M. Okay, so I love the texture of it though. Look at that. Do you see that texture? That's exactly what I want. Right there. This is what I want. Okay, so I have to blow up my design. That sucks. Cool. Cool. I wonder if I have a round brush somewhere like this. Hey Kai, you listening in? Do I have a round brush like this one somewhere that's smaller? In a similar quality. I think this is boar's hair. That's what I want. I want a smaller boar's hair brush like this. Can you see those these letters in this texture? God, I have to make this like poster board size to accommodate this brush. I don't want to blow it up. Somebody please. Somebody please. thinking I could destroy a brush, give it that similar awful texture. Don't do it, don't do it. I know, I hear you. I see a brush, I'm gonna try it. It's probably too flat. And it seems appropriately crappy. As I look over here and some other brushes that might suffice. Oh, I'd much rather ruin that brush than any other. Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. Woof. That went too far. Okay, this has a similar texture, but it's a little chiselly. Okay, I like it though. I like where that's going. Quite a bit, actually. So that's a maybe. You catch that? That's a maybe. This brush is a maybe. This one, a 3/8, probably 3/8 of an inch. And then there's this one, which is nice and smooth, so that's not what we want. But it is giving a little bit of brush texture, so that's not so bad, actually. How do I feel about that? As I wiggle it. Ooh, that's lovely. That right there, do you see that? That's lovely. All right, here's the brush. I don't even have to destroy it. We found our brush. All right, it is Royal and Lang Nickel. And I can't see the number size on it anymore. Cool. Let's try this. You ready? I'm going to move this aside and make my first attempt. It's rare that you get hand lettering on the first try, okay? Like, rare. Yeah? So don't freak out if you attempt this at home and it does not work for you. I doubt I'm going to get it on my first try. Sincerely doubt. Right? And I don't want it too wet. But keeping my hand from touching, because I'm probably, like I do right here, if you can see that, have some ink marks on it. I'm not going to drag my hand across this piece of paper. And I'm looking for that texture, but not too much of that texture. Yeah, I went too far on that M, but that's okay. We can work with it, okay? It's a little too dry, I think, but it'll work. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm not going to get this on my first try. Like I said, it's rare. But I may, in fact, get a piece of this right, in which case I can composite it later digitally. Digital hand lettering. I know. What has the world come to? Nope, don't like that. Don't like that. Okay, so I'm going to be able to take the things I don't like here and make something better. There's a lot I don't like here. That looks creepy all of a sudden. Cool. Not what I was going for. I like it a little dry. I want to see what happened. So we have some good things happening here and some bad things. So the good things, that K is lovely, though I think it's a little too many stray marks. I want it to have a childlike, playful quality to it, but I don't want it to be juvenile, angsty. And that's what where it's headed. Color can make a big difference on that. But let's pull this. Cool. Right? And let's do it again. Whoop, I hit the camera. One of the cameras. Again, do I need to tape all the edges? I don't think I'm throwing enough ink down that I do, but we will definitely tape the longest one and see if that helps with everything. And yes, the longest two. Longest one. Like a square only has one long edge. Again, so dipping into the Sumi ink and maybe going for more ink this time. Not dragging my hand yet again. Okay. I don't want to round those too much. I want to keep that brush texture. Okay, the M is looking good. Let's pick up a little more ink. Maybe I should pour this ink out. Whenever you're doing hand lettering, try to keep your strokes in like a downward motion only. Your brush will thank you. Yeah, this is getting creepy. Not childlike. How do we prevent the creep? That's kind of nice. Good texture. Doing the eye and then the title of the eye. Tittle. The tittle of the eye. Drawing and draping. And maybe I'm just deviating too far from my natural like letter shapes. That could be part of this, because this is not my natural letter shaping. So I may not bad. So I may go for something smoother. More along my natural propensity towards letters. That O is awful. Actually, it's not too bad. Oh. See, too brushy. Okay, maybe this brush isn't the right brush. Maybe I should go to one of my nicer brushes. Definitely doing this one again. Oh, yep. This brush is too brushy. See, I don't want that much texture. Now I can clean that texture up digitally, but it's still not what I'm looking for. Okay, this brush is a no. All of a sudden, this brush is a no. Cool, cool, cool. Most excellent. Let's pull it off. Like I said, it's rare that you ever get hand lettering on the first try. Some people can do it. Not me. Clearly, right? Watch me do this. I'm gonna get like paint all over my face. You just wait. Was that really both my pieces of Bristol? Oh, I thought I pulled 3 pieces of Bristol board. Where'd the other one go? It's fine. It's fine. I got more. It's nice to be working at this scale. I usually work bigger. I don't know why. I have no good reason. I can always scan it at like a ridiculous DPI. Let's not tape that down. Okay, and we're gonna grab a better brush. Were any of these like better enough? This one's too big. I know where that other one went to. I taped it to that. Let's try this 8. Yep, we're going to try this 8. And I'm going to pour some of this out because I am getting my hands very dirty. All right, oops. Blue paper cups for ease of cleanup. And I'm going to pour a little bit of this Sumi ink out into it. I'm not mixing any colors, so I don't feel like I can't pour it back in. But it could happen. I don't know. I don't know. Don't judge me. Okay, drying this off with the water so that it soaks up all the ink. And let's try this again. And I'm going to make that M just a little bit smaller. Because I feel like I'm crunching now at like the I, and then this is just much further from my natural letter making. So I'm going to start moving on to do my natural letter making. It may be more feminine, but maybe I just need to embrace that. Here I am changing two things at once. Don't I say to not do that? Yeah, see, my natural letters are just so feminine. It's a terrible T. That's the best O I've made yet, though, in the series. I'm going to do this 100 times, aren't I? Okay, this is too small. Having done this, okay. Too small. So that's the 8. We'll go, what was the other size I used that was very similar? Where'd it go? I had it. Was it this one? I don't think it was this one. Maybe it was. How did I... Ah, here it is. Nope, that's not the one. Would you believe I lost my wallet this weekend, like almost twice? Okay, maybe I need to fake it, y'all. Here's the 12. That's what I used, isn't it? The 12. Because this is too small. Let's try this again. Y'all, it takes work, okay? I've never said it doesn't. I do wish this paper was less expensive, however. Hello! Hello, Zan! Yeah, so I'm doing like physical art today. Hoping to bring you to digital art, and I have a totally new setup because I finally mounted that thing I was making to my collar ties up there. So now my monitor like hangs and is at an angle. So if I like shake things, look, the camera doesn't shake anymore. So like, you know, when the sewing machines come back, you all won't shake like it's an earthquake every time I sew. Where'd that 12 go? I'm trying to get my hand lettering to a place where I'm happy with for a t-shirt design for my summer camps. I know, it really is. It wasn't magic. It was hard work, and this was the second one I built. The first one didn't work. So here I am. I'm wondering if I've just totally moved away from my handwriting way too much on this design so that it doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to try to bring this back to my handwriting. Ugh, it still looks creepy. Why does it look so creepy? Why does it look creepy? Maybe the brush approach is all wrong. Oh, that's a... I don't like that. Okay. See that E, T, H, E, R. All right. This is not going well for me. I'm not liking the way this goes. Yeah, what are you looking for the next stream, Zan? You can make a suggestion. I can't promise I will do it. I literally do the art that I just have to get done. Because this is, like, I need this t-shirt for next week. But do, please, make a suggestion. Did I pull 2 pieces here? No. Okay. Again, throwing that over. And pulling another piece of paper. Because I need to. All right. Let's get a nice brush out, I guess. Oh yeah, what technical stuff do you have? Technical stuff for me, like, I don't know what I'm doing here at all. So, like, yeah, definitely give the technical stuff. I just try my hardest. Oh, I can do that. I think I can do that live, actually. Hold on. Let me see if I can flip that. Because my camera on my face right now is actually upside down. You didn't know that, did you? Here you go. And how did I do that? Ah. Like that? You know? How's that? And, well, I can even... Does this help? Does it help to have this one upside down as well? You know what I need? I need my favorite brush pen. Okay, I'll switch that back. Yeah, no, it's, I get it. That's fine. No problem. Yeah, my camera that my face is on is actually technically upside down. Because I have it hanging from my monitor and in front of it, so it looks like when I'm looking up at the screen and what I'm doing, that it kind of looks like I'm looking at the camera. I'm trying. All right, this is one of my favorite brush pens on the planet. Let's see. Oh, it's too thin. Okay, skipping that. That was a quick decision to make. What about this one? I hadn't thought about this. This is the same maker, but much thicker. And I have to squeeze the ink into it from time to time. Oh, that ink is green. That's okay. I'm going to scan it anyways. Squeezing to get the ink into it. Oh, that's better. See, I wanted that kind of friendly approach that feels like a brush. I don't know why that camera is doing that. Maybe there's a setting. Maybe there's a setting for this. Did I fix it? Now it's flashing, right? I fixed it, but is it flashing for you? Because for me, it's flashing. Yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff has been like part of my challenge. How about this? Is that good? No, it's still flashing. So if I set this, what if I set to 10? Oh God, it disappears when I do that. Don't do that. Ah, auto optimize, refresh the device. I'm sorry, I broke it completely. It's gone now. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's gone completely. Hold up. Let's do this. I have another camera. Let's do this. I think this will work. So we have that one. What if I do something like this? Oop. And something like this. And like this. And I put it here. Ish. Will that work? I'm gonna mimic what that camera was doing with this camera. Ish. And then I'm gonna take it. I don't know why this camera is so... Oh dear. Fix it. Plug it in. Take it. Plug it in. Turn it on. Oh, you're too heavy. Okay, what if I rest you against this? You've opened a can of worms. Are you happy, Zan? Oh, wait, that's working. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, I see why. That's precarious, but if it works, I'm not going to fight it. Okay. Yeah, I want a webcam, and we don't want the wide. I think we're going to want a television, something, maybe. Okay. Putting this here. Let's see. So it should work. Let's see if... No, I don't mind. I don't mind fixing it. It's gonna. I'm gonna do a thing. Watch. Watch this. It's gonna work. It's totally gonna work. I have so many cameras. And it's not blinking anymore. Huh? Yeah? Who's awesome? I am. See? See? Totally doable. Just a different camera. Better camera. I can fix things. I'm good at fixing things. Horizontally. Like, what do you mean? So you want it... Oh, it's backwards. Cool. Like that. Yeah, see? I can do these things. It's a little bit dry. I'm not getting the ink through it. I don't like the squeezy pens, but... Oh, there we go. I just saw the ink flow into it. It was amazing. There we go. Maybe I like this. Maybe I like this. I kind of wanted a rounded look to this stuff. There we are. You know, something kind of like what kids might do. Not quite bubble letters, but something friendly and approachable. I don't like that A. I'm glad you like it, Zan. How have you been? Yeah, so I'm faking the brushwork because I know the shape I want. It's not bubble letters and it's brushy, so using a brush to kind of create bubble letters. That's what I'm doing, right? So we get some of this brush texture. Oh, that K is exactly what I want. Ah, finals. Shouldn't college be like really, really done at this point? Oh, there's an A. Ooh, things are coming together. Do you see this coming together? This is looking more like what I was talking about. Ooh, buddy, that is a lot of pressure. What are you going to do with your summer? Look, it's brushy. It's getting, oh, this is, why didn't I start here? Because I thought I could do the individual stroking and get it like where I wanted. Well, it was a little girly. We don't want to go girly. I've got some boys attending the camp. You don't want to go too girly. I also don't really like to wear a lot of girly stuff. Look for a job. I'm hiring. Here in New Hampshire. Oh, that counter was just, can I just pause for a moment and talk about how beautiful that shape is? That shape is lovely. I'm going to mess it up, but that shape, you witnessed it, is lovely. We're going to ruin it though to thicken it and make it match the rest of the letters. That's better. Oh, this is doing what I wanted. Finally. Nice. Yeah. Well, sometimes it's nice to go home. Right? Internships are a thing too. Do you do internships in your course of study? All right, we're going to thicken that M up a bit. Actually, we're going to wait for that to dry. No, I really like money. Money? I don't disagree. I would usually, my first couple of summers, I went home, and because of my little bit of medical background and science stuff, I was able to work as a medical assistant. That was a pretty good paying job. I just take patients back, get their vitals, and hand them off to the doctor or call them about appointments. Or that one was a pretty good job. I started out at a dental place doing the same thing, but the dentist office was like full of like not cool people. Like the boss was unhealthy in, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say there. So I then went on to a different practice with only 2 weeks at the dentist office, and yeah, good stuff, you know. Medical assisting was a very well-paid job. It was an office job too, so I never had to waitress. I was very fortunate. All right, this needs a little fixing, but I'm liking where this is going. Do you see where I'm going with the style of this now? It's looking a lot more like what I was looking for. It looks like something a kid would want to wear, right? I might even make it available for purchase on my site, but we'll see. Because this is ultimately going to be a t-shirt for summer camp. The first one back after COVID. Hello, Breeze. How are you? We're making things. Together, we are making things. Was that cheesy enough? Welcome, welcome. Oh, there we go. That's a nice N coming together. It's not bubble letters necessarily, but it is decidedly hand lettering. Okay. That's a lot closer to what I was going for. See, this, not quite. This, not quite. Or this. Or this. This one has some fun moments in it, but it's not right. It's kind of creepy looking, actually. Oh. All right, let's pull this over And in the computer, when I bring it in there, I do believe I will bring this descender on the G and maybe turn it into a rainbow. We'll find out. Thanks. I'm glad you like it, Breeze. It's going to be a t-shirt that I give to the kids who come to my summer camp. Speaking of, next week on Twitch here, you just might see some of my students working in the studio with me. I don't know how, we haven't decided how we're going to do this yet. Whether the kids will be out and, you know, in some of their outside creating time during this hour, or how we're going to do this. But you might meet some of my students. Here we are. Look at that. That is what I'm talking about. Sometimes things work. It just takes several tries. Yeah, you like the idea of meeting some of my students? They're going to be on the young side. I'm talking, you know, middle schoolers and elementary students. It could be a really interesting experience for them to be in here. It'll be a lot noisier, that's for sure. There we go. Okay, all right. I like where this is going. This needs to be a gentler swoop, but I can do that digitally. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Let's pull this through here. Yeah, again, it needs to be a gentler swoop. There we are. There are some built in, but I haven't been impressed with them. The noise suppression filters. Sometimes the kids are real quiet though at the same time, like, because they're just so concentrated on their work. So we'll have to see. It'll be Wednesday, so they'll be comfortable. Who knows? Who knows? I sure don't, having never done it before. Oh, it's so sweet. Look at this. It's curling around. It's getting smoother. We're getting somewhere. Look, it needs some rounding out, but I can do that with the pen tool. It's like what Bezier curves are made for. It's quiet today in my chat. I know it's kind of nice. So here in New Hampshire, it's like really lovely. So I would not be surprised if any viewers, of course, most of my viewers seem to be in like Europe and Brazil. So I don't know, it must be nice in Europe too. You know, it's summer, restrictions, at least in the US, are starting to end. I went to the gym today, swam my laps, and it was the first, oh, see, I touched it. I touched it. Do you see that? I smudged it right there. Oh, right there. And it was the first time that masks were optional at my gym. I wore a mask, but it made me kind of skeeved out. Skeeved out. I don't know. When we hit 70%, then I'll feel comfortable. We're not there yet. See, the thing is, like when, I don't know what stats we're at now, but when we were at 53% vaccination rate and they let the mask mandate down, I didn't see 47% of the remaining people in masks. So somebody's not telling the truth. So I'll keep my mask on now because if you're not going to protect me, then I got to protect me. And that's sad. And also, like, I don't want people who aren't vaccinated yet to feel ostracized for wearing their masks in public like they should be. So if I wear my mask, then they're like, oh, I'm not the only one wearing a mask, even if I am fully vaccinated. I like the mask because I could, like, you know, make faces at people. And most people couldn't really tell what I was doing under here. I don't miss that part. That's for sure. No creepy old guys telling me to smile. That's a nice one too. What other things? Oh, Oh, you know what? Bicycling with a mask on, not so bad. Actually, because like here in the US, there are these guys that like to, what is it, like diesel dump or whatever? Like if they think they don't like you, which most trucks that can diesel dump don't like cyclists on the road, they do it to cyclists all the time. So you breathe in all this soot and smog. So the mask was kind of nice for that, I will say. I like the mask for that. Adorableness. See, just a little brushiness to it. It's for the texture, but really it's about the letters. That's where I'm going. I'm not sure that G needs to be that high though. Maybe drop it down. We'll see. Yeah, I don't knock the masks, like, not really. There we go. Just a little brushiness here, a little variation in the width. Gives it a friendly approachableness to the strokes. Again, when you're working with a brush, focus on your down strokes. Trust me on this. Down strokes are where it's at. Did you have a favorite mask? I found out that like most of my friends, the masks I made them were their favorite masks, which is kind of awesome. Ooh, you want to see my today's mask? Today's mask that I wore to the gym. I'm covered in bees. Covered in bees. Since I make them myself, like I make the wire go all the way almost, you know, to your ear, and like has a little uptick at the end so that like it doesn't rotate forward, and like, yeah, I've done a lot of work to make these perfect. You don't have a favorite mask? Oh, that's so sad. I have a couple that are my favorite. I have one that glows in the dark, which is, I've yet to have a use case for it that was like phenomenal, but I love knowing that it glowed in the dark. And actually the wedding I went to 2 weeks ago, it was a masked wedding, but the bride wore the same mask I did because I made it for her. And she didn't tell me she was going to wear it. Otherwise I would have worn a different one. But yeah, so it was space themed and their wedding was at an observatory. So like, you know, that kind of stuff. Of course I wore my space mask too. Should have checked. I should have checked. Here we go. Give it a nice, oh, that's perfect. Look at that. Do you see that? Now I am going to digitize this to make it easier for the t-shirt maker to print it. So I'll be able to clean up anything that's not perfectly the way I want it. Oh, I love this moment right here. That's lovely. How about you, Zan? Do you have a favorite mask? Trying to think of any other interesting mask occurrences. I went to a really big event this weekend. Oh my gosh, it was outside and it was really breezy. It was by the river, so super duper breezy, but it is the most people I have been exposed to like in over a year. It scared me a little bit, but I felt better because of the breeze. Yeah, the blue surgical ones. My mask, I decided the surgical masks were inadequate. So my masks have a copper impregnated medical filter on the inside and then tightly woven. I only trusted Kaufman fabrics to be tightly woven enough for a mask. So it's a 3-layer mask with the copper impregnated medical mask on the inside, basically. I made like 5 variations of my pattern to get it to fit well with lots of user feedback. Not digging this E all that much. There we go. Oh, oh, I fixed it. Look, that E is so much better now. There we are. Give it a little uptick so it looks a little positive, forward thinking with that T. It's a nice cross stroke. Oh, it's adorable. Yeah. This descender really needs curving out. I may do a separate. So the counter on the G is perfect, as is this kind of shoulder that kind of occurs on the counter. But the descender could use a lot of work. So I'm thinking I will let this dry and then come back in and redo it again just to see if I can get it perfect. And then I'll put it together digitally. So I'll make like a little X actually right here so that it'll be like registration marks. I usually do 3. So that I have registration marks when it comes time to make the composite in digital. Little bitty stars they kind of look like, don't they? There we are. Let's give that H just a little bit of a fat bottom on that downstroke. I don't like how high the shoulder on this goes. There we go, bring it down a smidge. It's okay. This E is a little far over for as smaller as I made it, so we're gonna bring it over. And like the other thing is too, if I make an E I really like, I can copy and paste it. And most people won't be able to tell unless they like it, you know, dissect it for a class or some jazz. There we are. Not digging this E. We'll see which one I like better when it all comes out. How's this new setup? Do you guys mind the new like above view and that kind of stuff? Because it is a little higher. Just makes me look thinner. No, it is a little higher, but it works a lot better for me because I'll wiggle around and like that view is not gonna wiggle. Ooh, there we go. Oh, yes, that shoulder. That's what I'm looking at. Nice. Thicken it a bit. Not bad. So I'm gonna let these things dry. I think this is more of where I'm going. And my messy hands. You like the surgical? Well, some of the surgical ones are, look, they don't stick on my face very well. They just don't. Oh, not the masks. Yeah, this is way better than like this, right? This is what I started with. I'm like, not what I'm going for. This looks kitty and friendly. I mean, this E is growing on me all of a sudden. But I like the roundness of this E when you consider it with that O. Yeah, now the thing that we have to decide is, like, does the marker stay facing this way, or should the marker kind of point this way? I think it needs to point this way, now that I'm looking at it, so that, you know, that my square logo fits on the marker right here and kind of points that way. So that the continuation, like we're going forward in time and forward in thinking and the future and forwardness. We need to think about that, forwardness. This is not dry yet. So I'm not touching it, actually, until it's dry. So I was going to sit here. Because I know how messy I am and how messy I can get. So I use Sumi ink on this. This kind of thing. Yasumoto & Co. Japan, Black Sumi ink. It has a health label for California. Don't breathe the vapors and don't swallow. It's an eye irritant, can cause allergic reaction, Contains calcium chloride, camphor, and isothiazolines. Avoid skin contact. That's awesome. It's all over my skin. I mean, right there. So, this is what I used because it's a pretty saturating black coolness. But I need to just let it dry. Anyone have any questions? I have a Wacom. So I have like a 15-year-old Wacom that works really well. So when I'm doing vector work, I don't use it all that much. And because I'm almost a digital native. I'm a little old to be a digital native. I am a millennial, but I learned to use a computer like when I was like 4 or 5. So I'm almost a digital native, but not quite. So like I still get a lot of value and haptic feedback from my hand actually holding a brush versus the digital aspect. So for me, the textures inform the design and where I'm putting my brush. I think there's a little bit something that starts in the physical. You'll see me bring into the digital. Like I can totally draw digitally. Like a lot of my portfolio is 100% digital. Let's see if I can pull something out real quick that's digital so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Oh, there's a bamboo pole in my way to open this drawer further. Let's see here. Move the bamboo pole, right? That's what I should do. There we are. Surely. Here we go. Here's something. Like this is a Photoshop, not a vector, but you can, you know, like I make, and I can draw, and I can draw digitally. This is a Photoshop drawing. You know, I do stuff. So my freelance website is biosigcreative.com. So you can see all my kind of stuff that I do by hand there. And that's the same label I use on Instagram. Let's see. I'll put it in the comments. How about that? There you go. That is my freelance website. I'm very picky with clients though, so I don't take everyone. Yep, so I have a lot of brush cleaning to do today. After all those brushes that I went through. You're just getting a blank page. Oh no. Oh no. That's not good. Let's take a look. Oh good. None of my illustrations are present. That's awesome. I'm gonna send a quick email about that. Because it was working like last week. Cool. We'll see if that gets fixed for my host. I paid to have them migrate over from a different host because I did not feel like dealing with it at the time. And that means they didn't migrate my images, which is really, really cool. It's not like I throw that website out a lot, but that's awesome. So you can check out my Instagram instead, which is under the same name. Let me throw that one out there. I don't even link to it. That's fun. I do need to update it just a bit. Oh no, I do. Here it is. No, no, I don't. Back when Behance was a thing. It may even be a thing still. Let's go to Instagram. Bio sigh. Here we are. Some more of my artwork. Cool. There's a lot of my watercolor and hand-drawn stuff. There's a lot of my digital stuff there. Dragons, watercolor. I mean, you can see a lot there. So that'll help get you somewhere. Cool. Why is it... Oh, this is so frustrating. Every single image is gone. It's awesome. Cool. That's great. And the website, actually, things don't link. Things don't. That's really great. I'm so unhappy at the moment. Whatever. They get to fix it. It's their problem. That's why I had them do it. Because I did not want that problem. Right? Right. So you can see on the Instagrams some of the stuff that I've like made since that's down. Yeah, you know, all the lungs and the dragons, large paintings, skulls. It's there. The dragon's digital too. I mean, I start out on paper and then I scan it in and like develop textures and stuff. Yeah, it's what I started doing like when I was a kid, like a long time ago. And it's what I've been getting commissions for, so that's what I've been doing. But if you keep scrolling, you'll see some of the digital work, like the dragons and the virus and the gallbladder, and I think the what else is there? Like the logo design, website design, the foot, right? Some of my garden stuff. Pen and ink, acrylic. Yeah. Boy, there is some more I could update this with. I just haven't done it. And it's more watercolors. But that's okay. I like doing the physical art. Like, I don't want to stare at a computer all the time. It's just who I am. My neck is kind of twitching at me. I got a massage last night because I stood all day for Pride and doing the painting that we did. Just got noisy outside. It sounded like knocking on the door. I don't think anyone's knocking on my door. All right, let's return the ink to the container and dump it out. There we go, and throw that away so we don't make more of a mess while this dries. Cool. Let's clean some of this off if we can. Alcohol is probably the best thing. And my people keep me well stocked. That's right. Squirt my hands with it and try to clean it off. Oh good, it's not coming off. That's what we wanted. I'm gonna have to scrub my hands tonight. Oof. My hands are so rough from all the work I've been doing on the house that they're tearing apart the tissue. Can you see that? All the grossness. Well, let's see here. So these are the brushes I need to clean. And these are the brushes I don't need to clean because I opted not to use them. We'll put the kids' brushes back in the bag, the pillowcase from this weekend, so that they can be put back into circulation for classwork. Put these inks back over here. And Sumi ink also goes back over here. And yeah, this is still a little wet. I don't think this is going to dry like I want it to, so that I can scan it tonight. I can also like photograph it and bring it in that way, but scanning is way better. Plus I was hoping to throw something on top of it and make the marker, right? Thinking through it. More kids' brushes. And why are these dry, but that one's not? I must have really laid the ink on that, and that all these other ones I didn't. Maybe that was part of my texture problem. Still learning. Constantly learning. Cool. Let's take a look at that t-shirt that we started the stream off with. Move this out of the way. So it's probably dry. Let's see how much I ruined it. It's almost dry. It feels a little damp. So, okay. It bled, obviously. Why did it bleed? It should not have bled. I put resist on it. It should not have bled. I may have ruined this. It's fine. It was a $3 t-shirt that I thought I would fix. It bled a lot, actually. A lot more than I thought it would. So this didn't work. Cool. We learned something. We'd put that resist down in the black. Maybe I needed to do it on the other side as well. This is a thicker fabric than the silks I usually use. That's actually, that's my hypothesis at the moment, is I should have put resist on the opposite side so that the dyes didn't bleed past that. And that's what resist does, is it like creates a wall so that things don't bleed past. So that didn't work. I'm impressed with the parts that did, like right here. Wow, it bled all over. It'll work when I wear an apron. It would have worked beforehand anyways. But I did learn something, right? The thicker fabric, the stretch jersey kind of t-shirt material that this is, probably requires resist on both sides because it's thicker, which makes sense. I should have thought of that. How would I have known though? I did a reasonable job with matching colors. It's not perfect, but it's reasonable. I don't think you can tell that there was a bleach spot here. That's nice. That's a really nice moment where I got that. You can still kind of tell the bleach spot happened here. I would let this dry, and then I'd probably go back over with like a deep, deep purple to see if I could blend that back in. I'm not sure this shirt is worth it. The other option I could do, and I'll put it on one day and see if it works, is I could always just like end it here and then no one would ever know. There's all kinds of ways to fix things. I could also just put a pocket right here. That would cover it all, right? But it was a good experiment to try and figure out, like, is this working? I don't know. Well, if I cut it here, I would also be cutting it on this side. That would give me extra fabric that I would turn into the pocket. Working with our brains. It's not working very well though. But yeah, so if I put this on, like, how long is it? It is on the longer side. I might be able to, like, oh, there's another bleach spot. How did I miss that one? So it's on the longer side. So if I, let's see. So if I did this, it would be long enough. I could still wear it. And I trimmed it like right there. Like no one would notice that, I don't think. See, and then I could put a pocket, or I could put a pocket. No, trim it and put a pocket. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I mean, it still works as like a shirt, even if I trim it. But I like the longness of it. There was something about that, but that's okay. We'll let it continue to dry. And we'll use one of our backup methods to save it. That's life, right? So sad. Sometimes things don't work, and that's okay. What other things can I work on with you guys? I don't think I've ever finished. Well, I'm not finished. I'm waiting on something to dry. Definitely done that before. I could take the heat gun to it and see if that sped up the drying. Yeah, it's still wet. Are you surprised? No one's surprised. I was really hoping to take this into Illustrator and show you. So we're gonna do the photograph thing, and I'm gonna pull it into Illustrator. I even have like a separate, like, whatever, ready, a separate screen. A separate screen ready to show you guys the Illustrator work. Let's pull my stool around. But vector work, because it's so math-based and working with Bezier curves and stuff like that, I don't typically use my Wacom, different people, different ways to say it, same tool. I do use my keyboard, however, quite a bit because I use hotkeys very extensively. Oh, it's nice to sit down, actually. Let's do this. Yeah, see, you can see that little boo-boo I made. And let's take a picture of it. I can do this with the picture variety. I just like scanning. Okay. Let's take a picture. Not with flash. The camera is slow. All right, and I'm actually gonna go to more, and I'm gonna try the panorama. This worked on my old phone when I could get, like, it would automatically stitch together multiple images for me. So that I could get it like really up close. It's not gonna work. It doesn't like me. Yep, nope, not gonna work. Let's see, what did it do? It's probably some, it's not, yeah, it sucks. So that's cool. Let's make sure this uploads and syncs. Beautiful, beautiful. And cool, there it goes. So I can drag it onto my computer. Excellent. Because everything is somewhat automated these days. Cool. let's see here. So we'll go to photos and see if it's downloaded yet. Here we are. Now let's download that. And I'm gonna throw it in Photoshop first. And let's, right, so where's Illustrator? It's over here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do a couple quick things to it in Photoshop and bring it right over. So let's do this setup where you can see my Illustrator screen, but I'm gonna edit it real quick and turn it into Photoshop so that you can see what it is I am doing. I didn't anticipate. Did not anticipate this. Okay. Edit the scene. We're going to switch programs and let's bring it to Photoshop. Okay, so now you can see my Photoshop screen and you can see what it is I'm doing. Oh, I gotta bring it up over here. Sorry, first time doing this digitally. Let's, oh, no, you go over here. Why are you over there? That's not what I wanted. Excuse me. All right, what's up? Get my screen going. Why isn't this toolbar showing up? It should be. There we are. Okay, now you can see things, right? So here's the photo I took. I need to remember to be over here. Here's the photo I took. And I'm gonna do some quick editing down of this. So hotkeys are gonna be important because I cannot see all the tools. It's a little too small. There we are. So I want to edit out those colors so that I can really crop this together. All right, I think that's good. That looks good. Double check over there. I'm going to crop this down. The next thing I'm going to do is a, come on. Oh, good. It doesn't let you see my menus when I click on it. That's odd. Image adjustments. Let's do brightness, contrast, and that's coming up on this screen. Hold on, I have 3 monitors. Okay, so, and you can't see my tools. That's not okay. Okay, so what I'm doing is blowing it out just a bit so I get some more contrast going on. And that will clean these lines up. And that's pretty much what I'm looking for. So Control-Alt-S, save, and I'm gonna call this Making Together. And it's gonna go in my downloads folder just for ease right now. And that looks pretty sweet. We're gonna close that out and I'm going to change Twitch to show you Illustrator. Let's go to Illustrator. All right, we're back to Illustrator. And now I'm going to make a new one. Why is it still Photoshop over here? Here we go. All right. I'm going to get used to this, I promise. I might need another monitor. I can't believe I'm saying that. That would be 4. That's excessive. So let's save that and bring that over here. We're going to create a new And it's gonna be, let's stick with like about 12 by 12. That'll be fine. Come on, Illustrator. Here we are. Nice little blank canvas that is not showing you my tools. Exciting. Control. I'm going to place, not that you can see the tool that I'm throwing up for you guys. Yeah, I know. Well, like, I'm like doing this and I'm like teaching, and I've got 3. So I've got one here, one over there, and then my laptop. Remember, this is like my job. This is my job. Not a print. I wanted to control, I wanted to place. File. Control Shift P. Okay, it's fine. I move between programs and not all the commands are the same. So you can see that. Switching this up. Now I'm going to do this thing, and I don't always suggest it, but we're going to try it. Okay, it's called trying. I'm holding down Shift to make sure the ratios stay the same, and I'm going to go to Live Paint. So, gosh, you guys can't see any of my tools. Well, so if I had a second monitor, I could be looking at 2 monitors here, which would be really helpful. And then 2 monitors when I sit down and actually do my work. And 2 monitors is superior in every instance. Right now it feels like I'm working with 1 because I've got this other monitor set up over here and I can't see the tools here, and we'll see. We'll see if I can figure it out. But image trace, there we are. And it's too far away, so this is a 2 color. So we're gonna try this. Yeah, you can't see anything I'm doing, so that means I have to look over there to do it. Yeah, that didn't work. It didn't like that choice, so we're gonna try this again. And I'm going to use a white logo. Cool, cool. Let's expand it. And now I should have vector shapes. See that? Can you see when I'm moving it that it has those vector shapes? I'm going to Control Shift G, which will ungroup it and take away the white. Now I need to take away the white that's in the counters because they're closed shapes. And now it's like a thing that I can edit however I see fit. How do I prove that? Let's add a layer. And we're going to drop it behind. And then by adding the layer, I can now add a box or a circle, but I think I want a box. Yeah, a box. I'm going to add some funky color, just any color, so you guys can see kind of what I've done here. And, oh, why is it in black and white mode? Sometimes this happens and I don't know why. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to select everything. Control A, Control C. We're going to make a new. And CMYK color. Yes, it's CMYK color, which is appropriate. Create. And now we're going to paste that there, and let's see. Because I know that this is, so like I can change the color just like that. It's kind of awesome because it's vector. And I can throw any color I want behind it, which is also kind of awesome. And I'm going for like a childlike feel, so we don't want to get too professional. You can see all those points. That's too many points. if I zoom up, like, see, it's picked up a little bit too much on that texture. So I'm gonna run a filter on it that will, it's object path and simplify, which does not have a hotkey. And here we are. Oh, you can't even see it. Why is it not displaying? Maybe I should have it reflect the monitor. Hold on, I'm gonna edit this a bit. I'm gonna try this. We're gonna edit. We're gonna take this away and we're gonna add this, and it's gonna be a this, and it's gonna be this. And I think that's working better. So we're doing a screen share now instead, so that you can see all my command windows. So by adjusting these things, and I'm watching this piece in particular, we can see, oh, you lost me. Because it's, I know what I did. I know what I did, don't worry. I put it on top of everything. Ta-da! Now you have me again. Aren't you happy? So adjusting these tools, these controls here, are going to affect some of the curves, and maybe they may adjust them too much, but I'd like to like have some of those things reduced. Oh, there we go. Let's zoom out. Oh, it's not. So let's look at this. It's hard for me going between the two screens. You can see why no, I don't. Don't worry. Don't worry. I've already thought of that. I don't have to worry about the names. I have no confidentiality agreements currently in effect with any of my clients. So, let's run that again. So we're going to Object. We're going to Path and Simplify. And then it gives us this menu, which I clearly need more of, because I'm going to finely adjust these things without losing too much. And, you know, the fewer points you have going on in a vector piece like this, the less storage space the file overall will take up. I can also show you what the original kind of looked like here by turning this on, if you can see that. And yeah, so I don't really want things sharp. I want things a little smoother. Oh, that's too smooth. You see that? See the little minute changes that are happening? Like, here is a really great view. Like, I want those corners, but I don't necessarily want these corners. So I'm just playing with it to figure out where exactly it falls. See, I don't like what happened to that, the counter of that G. But it will simplify it. There we go. So this is looking kind of like what I was looking for. Now I am going to zoom up on these, and this is just, it didn't quite get rid of it. So I'm going to use the pen tool, and I'm going to use the minus pen tool. See over here. That's the anchor point tool. So if you didn't know, sometimes they change things, which is really freaking annoying. And everything's not in the same spot as you expected. So as I hover, see, it'll get rid of these little extra points, which works as long as the math is right. So that, here, A, select P, and I want that subtraction point. See, it got rid of that. And I want that one subtracted as well. Oh, much better. See that smoothness? That's what I'm looking for. And I added one. It's hard for me to see the icon that's popping up next to my little pen tool here. can't tell what that is. I don't believe that's the right one. Okay, the other thing I can do is I can just delete this point, which is going to get rid of that altogether, and then I can reconnect them by clicking here and then clicking here. And then I have this Bezier curve that I can adjust and make super duper pretty. I can also do that here and try and grab the Bezier curves that are happening here. So I can adjust them just by clicking on them and like making these really fine adjustments, but they're what makes a painting look most professional. See that? Not bad, not bad. I'm pretty happy with most of the shapes of the letters. I'm gonna zoom up here. I don't like that. That's all wrong. Give it a second to think. And what do I have defining this? Oh, it's not so bad. So I can drag that point out to here. Drag that, oh, not the whole thing. So I'm looking at like a quarter of the size of the screen that I would normally look at to be in the Twitch Studio Beta screen, and then and make it look like I'm looking at y'all because my camera floats right ahead of in front of that screen. So I'm going to be checking each of these. See, that's a little harsh. I don't like that. So I'm still highlighting the M. So I'm going to go through over here and get that ascender on the K fixed. So I dislike this harsh corner. And look at what's causing it. It's that Bezier that's going like, woo, I'm all the way over here. So we gotta grab that and see if we can do something a little bit better by it. Ooh, yeah, see that? That's gonna be funky. Okay, what is it doing? We are going to instead use this tool and we're gonna reset this totally because that's so wrong. And I'm going to add a point here because I kind of like what's going on this right shoulder here. And then it was Control Shift C, yeah, to get that tool I wanted. Ah, oh, that's one of the tools. That's not the tool I wanted. Shift C. So we are going to totally reset these arms on the Bezier curve. See that? And that will let me independently adjust this one to make it look a little friendlier. Yeah, it's not as sharp. It's still pretty sharp though. So I'm gonna keep going with that. Let's do that again. Readjust that up like this. And then I'm gonna move this point over a smidge. Ah, see another issue. So we're gonna add, I love the width here, so we don't wanna make that too much different. We're gonna take this point and bring it over here. And then this one, we're gonna rotate it. The Bezier thinking is very different than straight up drawing thinking. Oh, that kind of has a nice texture. Look at that. So it kind of looks brushy. So this has like a hook going on here that I am not a fan of. And I'm going to grab that and straighten that out. See, it's little adjustments like this that really make something look like a professional actually did it. People don't take the time to do this a lot. I am not a fan of that. We must make our work better. Here we are. Kind of keep it organic, a little lopsided, but certainly smoother. Those little jerky points like that happen, like even here's one, are like the sure sign that you used image trace, which artists generally frown upon for some reason. I get it. I think it can be a tool, a crutch that you can rely on too much. Like like a lot of professors don't even tell their students it exists. It does exist, but you need to like use it judiciously and then alter what it does. Because otherwise you end up with things that look like they're image traced, because you get these weird little corners that would have never ever happened in like the real world. See, look, and now it's more organic looking. Even that's a little image tracey. Image tracey like Dick Tracy. So I pull that down and I get a nice, more rounded, organic look to it. It just looks so computerized sometimes to use image trace. Here's another thing that I see as like image trace clearly. It's these like little corners that don't always make sense. So we straighten that out. And I do want a little bit of an extension there. So we're gonna grab that handle, pull it up. There we go. Okay, with that angle, that looks good. But you go through and you inspect a drawing like this with great detail and eye. So there's more image trace evidence. See, it's just not something that you would purposefully draw into this shape, like, at all. So you just adjust it. And everything ends up better. Everyone's more impressed. I don't like this curve either. This feels wrong. So let's add a point here and drag it down just a smidge. Oh, that's so much better. I'm not sure I like this either. Let's drag this up just a smidge. And that. And look, here's another point that I wouldn't have seen if I hadn't adjusted that. So sometimes the answer to fix these things is to make a point here, make a point here, and then remove that point altogether. And then you can adjust it and like be like, oh, that's so much better. Look at that, a little more organic looking, right? Not so sharp. Ooh, there's another one. See, it's those little corners. I think that is what gives away an image trace. So like if you're trying to fool a professor, and you want to use image trace because it can be faster, it is, it often is, you need to go in and adjust these little details. Your professor's gonna notice this. Just like I can always tell when there's an extra space after a letter or at the end of a line, even on centered text, because everything is off. It's just this little detail that our eyes just go, whoa, bad things are happening right here. So don't think you can like really convince your professor you didn't use image trace when you did, unless you do this work. It's work. It is work. And that's why some professors feel that, you know, just drawing it by hand might be faster. And it might. In a lot of circumstances, it might be faster. I know. Am I ranting? I'm ranting. I'm telling kids how to cheat. So here's another thing that doesn't happen, right? It's those corners hitting the organic. That doesn't happen in image trace. Or I mean, that doesn't happen when you're organically drawing with the pen tool. And you should figure out how to draw with the pen tool. There's another, that little hooky thing. It just has this look to it that says, I used image trace. And there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but you need to put that, you know, artistic eye on it to like really smooth it out and make it look more like you made these digital decisions instead of let the computer make them for you. Make your own decisions. It will all be better. Oh, see, there's another image tracey thing. See that? That's not cool. As a heads up, I only have about 10 more minutes to work on this live with you guys. I then move on to teach my class tonight that I teach the kids. And you know what? Maybe they won't be here. I don't know. No, I look forward to seeing them. I got to spend the weekend with one of them at Pride. It was fun. She just helped me hand out brushes and create these giant paintings with the whole public of Manchester, New Hampshire. It was fantastic. Is this entertaining? Do you guys like watching me work digitally? I haven't done digital work yet because I wasn't sure it was going to be as entertaining as the stuff I like do in person. Whoop! See, and then if you take away one point and it like carries the whole curve, it's a problem. So like that's why you add another point so that it can handle the math that goes further. And then you can smooth that out. Look at that. Aw, it's kind of cute. It's kind of a cuto. Here's another moment I'm not thrilled with. Again, use your digital tools, but edit yourself, yo. Edit yourself. Use that judicious eye that you use in critique on other people and use it on yourself. Like, you look at things, like if you're an artist, chances are you have some kind of eye, right? You got here somehow. You have some kind of self-taught something. And like, it's not, ooh, that's another moment. There we go. And you have a gut feeling. And the only thing that like schooling or college gives you that you don't already have is usually just the vocabulary to be able to talk about it and convince other people that you know what you're doing. You follow me? And it is minute changes like this that make all the difference. All the difference. Like, I know it looks like I'm doing really small things, and I am. Don't get me wrong, I am. But everything will be better. It will look smoother. It will look more polished because of it. See that? Suddenly that looks better. You know, even if your eye isn't trained, you pick up on it and you're like, something's wrong here. It doesn't feel as professional. It doesn't feel as put together. It doesn't feel as like totally everything that it should be, because those little idiosyncrasies, little visual idiosyncrasies are like eating away at the perception of your piece. And if you don't, as an artist, everything visual is under your control. And you should own that. Oh, that E could be perfect with that. Oh, that's joyful. But let's move this. Ooh, that's funky. I like this moment, but I'm not a fan of this moment. So let's drag this down. That's better. Don't like this sharp moment here. This feels all wrong. Let's bring that in. Ooh, that is a formula. Oh, nope, not that. So I'm gonna round it differently. So, and it's not that every time like the same technique is gonna work. Sometimes you have to work the tools and figure out what really needs to happen in order for this to be smooth. There we are. Oh, much better. Now this is an awkward moment in here. There we are. Look, see how much smoother that suddenly looks? Oh, we've got an image trace moment here. All right, 5 minutes left to my stream before I really wrap this up. Does anyone have any questions about like what I'm doing here, or something I can help you with, or questions about Photoshop or Illustrator? Because I feel like I've demonstrated that I might have some expertise here on how to use the tools. Oh, that's better. Look at that. It still has that weird moment though. So let's drag this one up. Well, better. So much better. Here we go. We have another image trace moment. It's also a part of the filter that I ran over, the path simplify, but image trace alone leaves a lot of weird funky shapes on the edges of your colors. So if you don't path simplify, you have even more to fix. Did you know you were going to be getting an Illustrator demo when you signed in to watch me today? I think I mentioned it, but did you know it was going to be like this? That was going to be like, yo, cheat your professors and use image trace, but do it right. Let's talk about why image trace is a problem. And it's these funky angles that make it look like you let the computer make all the decisions for you. And I know you didn't, but if you use image trace, You kind of did. So own it and then adjust the decisions that the computer makes. That's all I'm trying to get you to do. There we go. Ooh, that motorcycle. All right, add here, add a point here, and that should help it curve here. Not perfectly, but enough. That's fine. You don't have to be an art person to enjoy watching art, that's for sure. A lot of my friends just kind of like to watch me draw. My understanding is that some of my friends who like work from home just tune in and just watch. They're not interested in commenting or whatever, you know, they're in meetings or they're doing their own work, coding or doing the things that they do. Yeah, see, this is an obvious moment that is an image trace boo-boo, because those lines, if you just constructed them with a brush, would line up. So I'm going to see about making this make more sense. Yeah, that makes more sense. I kind of want a harder, now it's curved over here too. Okay, it's gonna be brush bleed. So I make these things and I do this. Ooh, there's another image trace moment. Gotta fix that. But you know, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'll do my best to answer them. Most of the time I can answer them. And especially if it's a thing to use the program with. Like, I remember applying for professor jobs, the thing I would like describe in my cover letters and stuff is like, I can walk you through Photoshop and Illustrator and a lot of the functions in it without the program open in front of me. Like, I feel like that's a really great descriptor for how familiar I am with these things. Now, they do occasionally move things on you, which is the most frustrating. But in most cases, I can walk people through stuff. And I have, like, I can remember traveling and like driving down the road in Colorado, and a friend called me and was like, I'm trying to do this thing. How do I do it? And like, without the program in front of me, I was able to walk her through it. So like, that's when I realized it was a valuable skill. The things you learn driving down the road in Colorado. I mean, I wasn't the one driving, you know, but I was talking with a friend without the computer open in front of me. Yes, and they expect you to be able to do all aspects of digital use, right, from your brain without having the computer in front of you. Well, where do I go here? And it's like, most people don't memorize where these things are. We just kind of click and point and hope we don't break anything. And most of the time you're not going to break anything. So don't let computers fool you. Like, it's not that bad. And I've had a couple students that were like, but if I touch it, I'll break it. And it's like, okay, maybe not. Save frequently. That's all. Save frequently. Yeah, fortunately, my parents are like very digitally savvy, so I don't have to do that. They have to do it with their parents a lot, and I did it when I was a kid with my grandparents, walking them through stuff. But my grandma, you know, she plays her mahjong and her solitaire, and she's pretty happy with that. She buys her stuff on Amazon. Not too much, nothing crazy. Well, that's when giving you remote access too. If you're in a different country and trying to guide parents or grandparents, like maybe install some kind of remote access kind of program on their computer so that you don't have to guide them remotely. Just saying. And then they'll probably accidentally uninstall it, but whatever. Yeah, I don't have my parents have to walk their parents through it, but you know, my parents had me on a computer at 3, so I learned how to use a computer from them. See, here's the thing, like growing up, we had a computer all the time, and I sincerely thought I was bad at computers. Turns out just maybe the computer we had wasn't strong enough for me. Like, it wasn't powerful enough. I was like crashing it all the time, and I thought that meant I was bad at computers, but it just meant we needed a more powerful computer for everything I was doing. you know, multiple layers in Photoshop back when it was Photoshop 6 was like a challenge for most computers. So I crash things pretty regularly, and I learned that save frequently, save early, save often, all the time. That's the show today, y'all. It's been great hanging out with you. I did miss Anna. If anyone sees Anna, send her my love, so that she knows she is loved and accepted. We want to make sure, I want to make sure she knows that. So if you see Anna around the webs, do say hi for me. Tell her I missed her. And hopefully by this time next week, you're going to see kids in here. I don't know. I don't know. You might see like a little quick test stream from me popping up just to make sure it's not too noisy, so that I don't like scare the normal viewers away. I don't know, y'all. Yeah. You know, stay safe. It's a world out there, and we got to be careful. Stay safe, and in love and science. Like, that's my sign off. I have to think about it. What's my sign off? In love and science. I will see you all next time. Oh, my mouse is over there. I forgot. Okay, I got to bring it over here. Bye.